Before gods ruled and heroes rose, a war was already raging, not for land or power, but between chaos and order, the two forces shaping every myth ever told. Before the first word was spoken, before the first god carved light out of void, there was chaos, formless, shapeless, without time or direction. It churned like a sea with no shore. Out of this primal turbulence, myths tell us something stirred, not from logic, not from law, but from the fierce hunger to bring meaning into madness. Though many tales cloak it in battles and heroes, it is a war older than memory, older than gods, the eternal struggle between chaos and order, entropy and harmony, shadow and form. Every civilization, from the dust of Sumer to the peaks of Olympus, has told its version of this war. And though the names change, Tiamat and Marduk, Set and Horus, Loki and Odin, Mahisha and Durga, the tension remains the same. It is the spine of myth itself. In the beginning, chaos is often queen. She reigns not out of malice, but because she simply is. In the Babylonian myth, chaos takes the name of Tiamat, the salt sea, the ancient dragoness. From her and Apsu, the fresh waters, the first gods are born. But as gods always do, they rebel. They make noise. They impose direction. Apsu grows, weary, and wishes to silence them. Tiamat, however, endures until Marduk, the storm god, steps forward. Marduk does not negotiate. He does not plead. He kills. With his net and his winds, he traps Tiamat, slays her, and splits her body to form the heavens and the earth. Out of chaos, order is carved violently, majestically. The cosmos is not born in peace. It is forged in rebellion, in sacrifice, in war. And in every culture that inherits this story, echoes of it ripple outward like thunder in Egypt. The story moves like the Nile, slow, winding, eternal. The forces of order are embodied in Mat, the principle of truth, justice, balance. She is not a deity of violence, but of equilibrium. Yet she is under constant threat. Every night, as Ra journeys through the underworld, he faces Apophis, a serpent of chaos who seeks to swallow the sun. Ra must fight again and again just to rise. In this myth, chaos is not a moment. It is a presence, ever returning, never defeated fully, lurking at the edge of light. Egypt does not offer triumph, only vigilance. Order survives not through dominance, but through ritual, through the careful upkeep of balance. The pharaoh is not a ruler, but a guardian of Mat. Civilization itself is a wall against the desert, both literal and symbolic. Beyond the cultivated fields lies the red land, the land of disorder. Within the city is life, outside it, dissolution. The war between chaos and order is not history, it is geography. In the Norse myths, chaos is colder, crueler. The world begins not with light, but with ice and fire colliding in the void of Ginnungagap. From this elemental violence, the first being, Ymir, is born, a frost giant. From his sweat and body, more giants come. Then the gods, led by Odin, rise and kill him. From his corpse, they fashion the world again. Order is made from death. The gods impose structure, but they do so upon the bones of giants. And the giants never forget. The Norse cosmos is a tree, Yggdrasil, holding together 9 worlds. But beneath it rides the dragon Nidhogg, gnawing at the roots. Loki, a god of both order and mischief, births monsters. Fenrir, the wolf, grows beyond control. Jarmungandr, the serpent, encircles the world. The gods know it will end. Ragnarok is foretold, a time when chaos will rise again. Odin will fall to Fenrir. Thor will slay the serpent, but die from its venom. The sun will go black, but from the ashes a new world will emerge. In the Norse view, order is not eternal. It is courageous, beautiful, but doomed. Its fall is not failure, but fulfillment. The Greeks told their chaos differently. In their oldest tales, chaos is not disorder, but gap, a yawning nothing from which Gaia, Earth, and Uranus, sky, emerge. They bear the Titans, who are overthrown by the Olympians. Zeus, like Marduk before him, imposes law upon an unruly universe. But he is not alone in this task. Prometheus defies him, giving fire to man, an act of rebellion that brings both chaos and progress. Pandora opens her jar, releasing suffering. In the Greek mind, order is never pure. It always contains within it the seeds of its own undoing. Tragedy is not an accident. It is structure. Fate governs even gods. And in that, the Greeks saw a terrible beauty. Yet they, too, believed in cycles. The golden age yields to silver, then bronze, then iron. Each age is a decline, a fall from harmony into fragmentation. But even this fall is patterned, mythic. It is not mere decay, but destiny. In India, the war is told through the cosmic dance. The universe is not built once, but endlessly created and destroyed in cycles. Shiva, god of destruction, is not evil. He is sacred. He dances in fire, in cemeteries, in dissolution. Yet, from that dance comes rebirth. The demon Mahisha, shapeshifter, an emblem of chaos, rises again and again. And each time, the goddess Durga rides forth to meet him. Her many arms wield weapons. Her lion roars, and she slays him not once, but always. The Devi Mahatmya tells us this is not history. It is truth. Chaos must rise. Order must answer. And the dance continues. The Mahabharata, that vast Indian epic, speaks of dharma, cosmic law, breaking down as the age of Kali begins. War erupts, brothers fight, the world darkens. Yet, even in the bloodshed, Krishna speaks of transcendence. One must act without attachment. Order is not just ritual, it is inner alignment. It is harmony with the eternal dot. Here, the battle between chaos and order is not just external, it is within the self. The battlefield is the soul. In China, the Tao speaks more softly. The Tao Te Ching tells us that the world flows between opposites, yin and yang, dark and light, movement and stillness. To impose rigid order is to invite collapse. To yield is to rule. But even here, the war simmers. In myths, demons rise, the Monkey King rebels. Immortals fight for heaven. But always, the answer is balance, harmony, the middle way. Chaos is not the enemy, it is the partner. The Tao is not victory, but flow. Among the Aztecs, chaos and order are bloodbound. The sun requires sacrifice. The world has ended 4 times before, each era undone by its own flaw. Now we live in the 5th sun, but it too teeters. The gods themselves must die to sustain the world. Quetzalcoatl weeps as he descends into the underworld to steal bones for humanity. Tezcatlipoca, the jaguar god, stalks through the night. Here, the war is cyclical, sacrificial. There is no final peace, only the delay of the inevitable. Order exists only so long as we feed it. In the Hebrew tradition, the war is hidden in poetry and prophecy. In Genesis, the Spirit of God moves over the deep, the Tem, the waters of chaos. Light is spoken into being. Boundaries are drawn. Darkness is separated from light, sea from land. Creation is separation, the imposition of order upon the void. But the serpent enters Eden. Cain kills Abel. Babel rises. Chaos seeps back in, not from outside, but from within humanity. Yet the promise remains. Order will be restored. The prophets dream of a messianic age, of lions lying with lambs, of swords beaten into plowshares. But always, order requires covenant, law, sacrifice, and even the apocalypse. The book of Revelation is not an end, but a new beginning, a new heaven, a new earth. Chaos is cast out, but never forgotten. Its shadow makes the light meaningful. In Christianity, the Logos, the Word, is made flesh. Christ is not just Savior, but structure. He restores the broken order, but he does so by passing through chaos, the cross, the tomb, the descent into death. Resurrection is not escape, it is conquest. Across all these myths, one truth rings clear. Chaos and order are not simply enemies, they are twins. They need each other. Without chaos, there is no potential. Without order, no form. One births, the other shapes. One dissolves, the other binds. The war between them is real, but it is also dance, marriage, paradox. In modern times, we forget this. We speak of chaos as evil, of order as progress. But myths remind us, too much order becomes tyranny. Too much chaos, oblivion. True harmony lies in the balance. Jung saw this in the psyche. The shadow must be faced, integrated. The unconscious, wild, irrational, chaotic, must not be repressed but encountered. Individuation is not suppression but union. Myth becomes map. The war is internal. Joseph Campbell, tracing the hero's journey, found the same arc. The hero leaves order, plunges into chaos, finds treasure, returns with wisdom. The chaos is not accident, it is initiation. In the end, the myths do not offer a single answer. They offer rhythm, tension, eternal return. Chaos and order are not enemies to be conquered. They are principles to be honored. A storm is not evil. It clears the air. A structure is not holy. It must breathe. The war continues in nature, in nations, in minds. But it is not a war to end. It is a war to understand, and in understanding, perhaps, to participate with wisdom. So when the world trembles, when the old rules break, when nothing seems stable, do not despair. You are not lost. You are living the oldest story. You are walking between the serpent and the sword. You are standing, like the gods, in the storm between chaos and order. And like them, you must choose not to flee, but to create, again and again and again.